Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler video series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there and try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This is also my dinner, so let's all hope for the best that this is really good. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get Peer Can Thunderbolt poster. Ooh, Peer Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Happens to be my Boom! The Defect shirt. Really like the design on this. If you're unfamiliar with the band musical project, not exactly sure how it works out, of The Defect. Basically, it's a project featuring the lead singer of the band, The Browning, and his wife. It's kind of his wife's sort of headlining project, but the two of them work together on it. I became aware of their stuff some months ago. The Browning was headlining a show that I was attending, and they went over there and, they had that opportunity to go over there and, sort of debut The Defect in a live setting. And it was really fucking cool. I really enjoyed their stuff. I actually got some videos of their performance that I attended. They're on the channel, in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I think they're an absolutely incredible band, or musical project, or whatever they want to consider themselves. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it my dinner? Well, it's my dinner because I'm just not typically the best adult, but every now and again, I do like to treat myself a little bit. Because you see, although I like to, review all kinds of fancy food places and things and such, like, obviously, my day-to-day stuff is not that. It's pretty basic stuff most of the time. And I go over there, I make a lot of frozen pizzas and easy shit, right? And I reviewed a lot of them here on the channel. But every now and again, I go over there and I get one that's a little bit fancier. So, I'm reviewing, boom! It is from Mauro Provisions in Chicago, Illinois, by the way. Chicago-style thin crust, pepperoni, and honey G pizza. And yeah, so chef guy, Chef Mauro, he's a chef, I guess fairly famous, from Chicago. And now he's got his own line of frozen pizzas. I reviewed his beef and sausage combo pizza a little while ago. And he had this one as well, so I figured, what the hell, we'll do it. Now, what with this being from a Chicago-based institution, it's going to end up on my Eating Out Illinois playlist, which is a playlist for just sort of Illinois-related stuff. And yeah, let's take a look at the pizza. Now, the one thing that I changed from this one to the previous one, because on the previous one, I felt like the crust was underdone. This one, it says, hey, let it thaw before you put it in. So I let it thaw, and it looks like, boom, looks like pepperoni pizza. Let's get a thing for the thing here real quick. If I can make that happen for y'all. Looks like this. You'll go, ha 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 ha! And let's try out fancy schmancy pizza. Check the bottom. Is it underdone? It's better than last time, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I definitely think that the timing needs to be worked out a little bit on that. But I mean, it's again, definitely better than last time. So thawing it out did help to some extent. It did, however, make it much harder to put on the pizza rack because it no longer had the same structural integrity. That's pretty good. That's properly tasty. So the honey G, if you're unfamiliar, uh, it's called giardiniera. It's a type of sort of pickled relish that's fairly famous within Illinois, sort of the Chicago style food. Um, it can be done up a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's spicy, sometimes it's just more tangy. This one, I feel like they're going for sort of a little bit of a sweet heat thing, with the honey aspect. Um, and to that end, it's actually really nice. Like, I like giardiniera on a pizza or in pretty much anything. It's really tasty. It gives it some real extra zip, and the heat on it's genuinely pretty nice. Like, it's got some proper heat. Goes to the back of the throat. Not crazy spicy or anything, but I like it. I also appreciate that you get a lot of pepperoni. It did shrink down, but I guess curl up is more appropriate. Yeah, I mean that's genuinely pretty nice. The giardiniera tastes nice. That's definitely, even without the giardiniera, it would be a pretty nice pizza. Pepperoni's got some good flavor to it. It's not, a lot of times, especially for like frozen pizza, they tend to be very overly salty with the pepperoni. This, I mean, it's obviously still got a little bit of a salted aspect to it, but it's much more meaty than it is salty. So it has that nice pepperoni flavor with a little bit of that salty backing, but like again, it definitely doesn't taste like just overly salted cheap meat. So, and cheese itself is really nice. I'm liking that. It's definitely a better quality cheese than what you're getting for a lot of the cheaper frozen pizzas. The giardiniera is definitely what makes it for me though. I really like I said, I like the heat that comes to it. I also like the little bit of sweetness that it has. So it's kind of cool. I like it. It's a little bit of a twist on sort of a Chicago, Illinois style pizza, and I can get behind it. But two questions have to be asked: would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I mean, sure and sure. I'm not gonna go over there and say that it's anything holy shit amazing, but it's a solid enough frozen pizza that it's working. It's definitely presenting itself as being a little bit more of a slightly upscale frozen pizza. Um, and I do appreciate that, they're utilizing sort of Chicago style flavors and stuff. I think that's cool. It's, of course, cuisine I'm familiar with. So, credit where it's due. I wouldn't say that it's like an overly exceptional frozen pizza. I definitely have ones that I personally would prefer over this one, but I do like what they're doing with it. And, all things considered, I could see myself grabbing it again, if only, because I like the general quality of it, and I do appreciate, again, those sort of Illinois Chicago style flavors at play. So, again, not going to be my new favorite brand, but certainly one that I'll keep an eye out for, see if they have any other flavors available. If I'm recommending it, sure, I don't think it's anything that you really have to run out and grab. But if you can find it, especially if you can find it for a reasonable price, I forgot what I paid for it. It's been a little bit since I bought it. But I don't remember it being crazy bad. Some of the, especially like the more local ones, like Pizzeria Uno and stuff like that, their pizzas can be pretty expensive. Even the frozen ones. This one I don't think was that bad in that regard. So, but again, it's definitely a decent quality pizza. It's trying to set itself apart with those Chicago style flavors. And I think that for the most part it works. I wouldn't say it's anything overly exceptional. And I do think the timing, again, to get like, a crispier crust and stuff, play around with that. But credit where it's due. It's pretty dang good for what it is. And, giving it a shot probably isn't a bad idea. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly giardiniera-tastic rest of your life. Because again, giardiniera, And I say that as somebody who did not growing up liking G dinner. I wasn't that into spicy stuff, and I definitely wasn't into like the sort of crunchy texture aspect of it. You know, as I got older, I sort of got more into it. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating. Just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, when it comes to like frozen pizza options around you, what are like your personal favorites? You know, do you prefer to go more sort of I usually just go cheap, right? Because I can always add a few little things, you know, get something that works for me. But there's no denying that, you know, sometimes it pays to go a little bit more upscale. But not all the time. So let me know what your personal preferences are as far as your frozen pizza.